All right, I apologize for my voice again. I'm sick. But I had a realization today. And if you could like this and repost it, because I'm going to use a lot of words that are going to get this, like, suppressed. I'm not going to try and code word it all because it's too much stuff. But what I've realized is that in this first week, it's not even a full week yet, but in this first 5 days, 6 days, what has happened has been literally every single scar has been ripped open. Every single American pain that has happened since its birth, every single atrocity, every single fight has been like brought out into the forefront with the actions that he has taken. And it kind of blows my mind that so much could be like things that have just kind of been in the shadows, things people didn't even know existed, things people did not even realize, which, while his shock and awe, I think a lot of it was to like freak us all out that all these things can be taken. What it has made us realize is how easily those things that were fought for decades ago, centuries ago, can be wiped out in a second and they aren't safe. The things that we thought were our rights and our privileges to live with can vanish in literally a signature. And I think that has really woken people up. And I think people have learned things about this country. I mean, we have people reading the Diary of Anne Frank on this app. We have people taking Hillman College courses about African studies, and all these, like, hundreds of free courses are going on because this man woke people up. And maybe now that we have been awoken to them, it's our chance to heal them and reconcile them and fight for them to become permanent parts of our country going forward. When this man is all said and done, all of these things can be healed and the pain can be healed. I've made a list. I'm going to consult my list, but I made a list of all the things that I could think of, like literally off the top of my head, that have had the scab ripped off, the flashlight shine in a corner to see, to remind people that this country was never great. It's never been great. We have done and had horrible things done in this country in the name of patriotism, in the name of supremacy. So I'm going to go through this list. Obviously, the most obvious one is the Equal Opportunity Act, civil rights, black rights that they fought blood, sweat, and tears for, gone. Women's right, the feminist movement, the women's movement, gone. The Equal Opportunity Act means us too, all of us. What's going on in the military, all things protecting women in the military, gone. Any kind of minority, gone. Just like that. Gay and trans rights. Gay marriage is coming. It's not there yet. I don't know why he's waiting so long. That's coming too. Gay rights, gone. Native American rights, birthright, citizenship. Yeah, it's written in the Constitution that it's because they're on their own native land, it's different, but it doesn't mean they're not citizens. He has Andrew Jackson hanging in the Oval Office. Do you know what Andrew Jackson is famous for? The Indian Removal Act, which led to the Trail of Tears. Go study that. Remind people, teach your kids about that while you're at it. Book banning, a new book banning list came out. Not sure where it came from, but it's been floating around. People are renewed in the idea of book banning. Burning books is something that is famous in this country. It's not new. It's always been done. Why is it being done? Censorship, propaganda, Red Note. People learned how much propaganda was actually happening to us our entire lives. That everything about America is propaganda. We've been lied to about everything. People are realizing that finally. Speaking of propaganda, he used the term manifest destiny, talking about space. Manifest destiny was Christian nationalist propaganda, saying that we could go across this continent and take whatever we wanted in the name of God. Propaganda. And he's renewed that. So go learn about add that to your list, manifest destiny, and why that you were taught that in schools. If it was some great like American exceptionalism stuff, and by American exceptionalism, I mean white supremacy. And so now we have a renewed reminder that the KKK inspired Nazism. So don't say it can't. AOC's like that doesn't happen here. Americans don't like America taught the Nazis how to Nazi. He liked the Jim Crow laws. He liked that we rounded up the Indians and put them on reservations. That's where he got the idea for the camps. So don't say that we don't do that, because we taught him how to do that. And then now we're being reminded of that. Everyone's so appalled at Elon. It's like, that's what Make America Great was actually a KKK slogan, y'all. And then speaking of Elon, capitalism. We're all realizing that we've been fed a bunch of propaganda about capitalism as well. They completely demonized any other way, while the wealth gap grew exponentially. We have billionaires in charge of everything now, and it's crystal clear. You cannot hide from it at this point. It may have always been happening, but now you can't hide from it. You can't deny it. They were in the front row. They were in front of his cabinet. They are front and center. It's a technocratic oligarchy. That's what we are in right now. It's not a democracy. And we're all aware of the government corruption. We've got Nancy Pelosi insider trading out in the open. We've got all these members of Congress. There's literally apps tracking what they do and which stocks they trade in. Then we've got the president trying to undermine the stock system and moving everything to cryptocurrency. So he's probably going to gut the... Anyway, that's a whole other post. But the corruption is rampant. The amount of... The way that our elected officials aren't doing anything on behalf of the people that people voted for is astonishing. And he released the secret files, JFK, RFK, Martin Luther King. And maybe people are waking up to the fact that the CIA takes care of a lot of situations for the government that are going to interrupt capitalism, white supremacy, all that kind of stuff. They take care of it. And that's why those three being released is kind of, another reckoning to happen. People are waking up to the fact that we ousted leaders in Central and South America, Asia, because they were communist, and we would go in there and cause uprisings and killing hundreds of thousands of people just so we didn't have communism in our backyard in the name of democracy. Our government did that. I can give you some books to read. We've got in our face immoral immigration policies happening in our face right now, but it's not the first time. It's not the first time we've done stuff like that. So don't think that that's new. We have to go reckon with the things we've done in the past about immigration. And speaking of the immigration, what are they going to do with those people that rent? They're not flying them out. They're putting them in the new prisons that are getting built. 13th Amendment. Go look it up. Go watch the movie The 13th. Slavery 2.0. Those fields with the fruit rotten in it, how long until they're back in there making $1 an hour or get out there as slave labor? They may already be out there. I don't know. Speaking of California and crops, we've got environmental disasters front and center. Environmental disasters in your face. Where we realized that water is mostly owned by one couple in California. Water is not a human right in this country. What else is not a human right? Healthcare. Healthcare is not a human right. And there's nothing that's going to be done about it until we demand it. I'm sure there's a lot of other things, but I'm going to wrap it up by saying education. The education in this country has purposely been held back so that we didn't know about all these things. No one can put all these things together and realize what we needed to fix in this country. But one silver lining out of this horrible week of shock and awe is that we have been shocked and awed into you cannot deny it anymore. You cannot sit back and think everything is great just because you can get your Starbucks in the morning. You can't go to Target anymore and get your Starbucks and walk around without feeling guilt. Because they don't want women, they don't want minorities, they don't want them. They've said that. They don't care. DEI is not important to them. They don't care. So that means you stop shopping at anywhere that does not think you are important enough to care about and have rights. There's plenty of creators sharing places that you should not be shopping anymore. So please go find that out. And if any of those things that I talked about you've not heard of, please go look it up or comment below and I'll do a post about it. As a history major, I love this stuff, and I've seen it my whole life. I've been like, what? Like, there are so many more, but those things are the ones that is like, literally, I made a list. This is really long already, but please share. If you made it this far, please share it because this will not get pushed at all. I'm going to put a bunch of crazy hashtags in it to help. Maybe it'll get glanced over, but please share it.